Welcome to Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation, the show where we delve into the profound impact of religion, spark provoking conversation, explore the world through an open-minded perspective. I'm your host, Tafari, here to bring you engaging discussions, eye-opening stories, and conversation that pulls no punches, whether it's faith, culture, creativity, or real-life experience. We keep it raw, honest, and unfiltered. Peace and power, family. Before we get started, please take a moment to do something important. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode of Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations with Tafari. Every click, share, and subscriptions help push this movement forward, spreading knowledge, rhythm, and power into our community. Let's rise together. Now, let's get into today's conversation. Welcome to Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations. I'm your host, Tafari. Today's episode addressed a subject that is often misunderstood, emotionally charged, and deliberately misrepresented. Reparations. This is not a conversation about guilt, blame, or charity. It's about economics, history, and accountability. We examine how centuries of enslaved labor and state-sanctioned exclusion created measurable advantages that continue to shape American life today. More importantly, we ask a straightforward question. When labor is taken, wealth is extracted, and opportunity is denied, what is actually owed? This episode is about facts, not slogans, systems, not sentiments. It is an invitation to look honestly at how the past remained present in our economic reality. Today, we're making a case for reparations. Let's get into it. They told us heaven was a distance. Slavery as an economic engine. Slavery was not a side chapter in American history. It was a core economic engine. For centuries, enslaved Africans generate immense wealth through unpaid labor in agriculture, infrastructure, and early industries. That labor reduced production costs, increased profit, and fueled capital accumulation for white landowners, financiers, and institutions. The value extracted was never compensated, yet it became embedded in the nation's economic foundation. Wealth transferred without consent. The benefit of slavery did not disappear with emancipation. Wealth created by enslaved labor was transferred across generations through land ownership, businesses, inheritance, and access to credit. Meanwhile, formerly enslaved people were released into society with no land, no capital, and no legal protection. This created a compounding advantage for white Americans and a compounding deficit for Black Americans. Post-slavery policies that preserve advantage. After slavery, policies such as black code, sharecropping, convict leasing, and later Jim Crow laws preserved economic dependence. These systems restrict mobility, suppress wages, and criminalize Black lives to maintain cheap labor. The result was a continuance of extraction under different names, ensuring that wealth continued to flow upward while Black communities remained economically constrained. Government programs that excluded Black Americans. Major wealth building programs in the 20th century, including the Homestead Act, New Deal benefits, FHA loans, and the GI Bill, were either inaccessible or discriminatorily administered to Black Americans. These programs helped build white middle class through homeownership, education, and business development. Black taxpayers contribute to these systems but were largely denied the return. The compound effect of denied ownership. Wealth is built primarily through ownership of land, homes, businesses, and access. By systematically denying Black Americans access to ownership opportunities, the U.S. created a persistent racial wealth gap. This gap is not the result of individual failure, but of institutional design. Reparations address the cumulative consequence of denied ownership over generations. Reparations are not a handout. Reparations are often mischaracterized as charity. In reality, they are a form of restitution. Payments for labor taken, opportunities denied, wealth extracted. When wages are withheld, back pay is owed. When assets are seized, compensation is required. Reparations follow the same principle, grounded in accounting rather than emotions. Tax contributions without equitable returns. Black America has consistently paid taxes into federal, state, and local systems that did not provide equal access to education, housing, healthcare, or infrastructure. In many cases, tax dollars funded segregation, redlining, and discriminatory enforcement. Asking for reparations include recognizing that Black communities paid into a system that often worked against them rather than for them. Reparations as economic corrections. Reparations are not solely about addressing the past. They are about correcting present-day distortions. Economic gaps created by historical injustice continues to affect outcomes in health, education, and political influence. Addressing these gaps strengthen the overall economy by increasing stability, productivity, and participation. Precedent for reparative action. The United States has a history of compensating groups harmed by government action, including reparations paid to Japanese Americans interned during World War II and settlements for land seizure and labor abuse. These actions establish precedents. When harm is acknowledged and documented, repair is possible and appropriate. Reparations has a path to closure and accountability. Reparations are ultimately about accountability, not punishment. They acknowledge that prosperity was not created in a vacuum and that benefit enjoyed by some were built through the exclusions of others. Addressing this openly allows the nation to move forward with honesty rather than denial, replacing unresolved debt with intentional repair. As we close, the central issue is not whether history should matter, but whether unresolved history continues to shape outcomes. Reparations are not about rewriting the past. They are about addressing its consequences. When wealth is accumulated through unpaid labor and reinforced by policies, the resulting imbalance does not correct itself over time. Ignoring that reality does not create unity. It's a prolonged inequity. Making a case for reparations is ultimately about accountability, repairs, and economic clarity. It asks whether a nation built on laws and contracts is willing to apply those principles consistently. Honest reckoning is not division. It is a prerequisite for progress. And progress begins when we stop asking whether something is uncomfortable to discuss and start asking whether it is accurate. This is Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation with Tafari. Peace, my people, and most of all, stay Black. If today's conversation spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share with the family, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification so you never miss an episode of Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation with Tafari. Together we rise. Unchain your mind, reclaim your soul.